My father wanted to be a musician. And this is very interesting to me because he didn't really tell me this story until I was already married. I was already in my 30s. And his story mirrors mine in such a funny way that I didn't expect. So, story time. When my dad lived with his father in Chilomoni Blantyre, he was part of a band. He was a guitar player and he had learned to play the guitar and was practicing with the band in their practice space, in their rehearsal space. And until one day the band leader was like, okay, you can take the guitar home and practice at home so you can get better faster, right? And he takes the guitar home and he leaves it at home and goes off to school or somewhere. But when he comes back, he finds his father with the guitar, and his father smashes it on the ground and tells him, yeah, you're not pursuing this music nonsense. I'm sending you to school so that you can learn to a trade or be something else, not a musician. There's no money in music. And of course, this breaks my dad's heart. And he has to go to the band leader with his tail between his legs and tell him, hey, the guitar you lent me, sorry, it's been destroyed. My dad destroyed it, and also I can't be part of the band anymore. And my father goes on to want to pursue engineering at university. Of course, he finishes secondary school and all that. Goes on to apply to university to be an engineer and was going to be sent to Nigeria to study engineering. But at the time, I think there was a conflict going on. So the president at the time, the life president, Dr. Kamuzu Banda, said, no, 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 we can't send our brightest over to Nigeria. They can end up in the crosshairs and in the crossfire. So, no. And this is around the time Chancellor College was established. But at the time, they only offered law, social sciences, and whatever else. They didn't offer STEM subjects such as engineering. So my father then decided to pursue economics. And that's what he did. And that's the profession that he's been in. He's an economist. And it's such an interesting story because it mirrors mine in a way. As you may know, I am a musician. I am also an economist, but what you may not have known is that initially I wanted to study mechanical engineering. The only reason I didn't was because at the time, as a young man at what, 15 years old, I thought, mechanical engineering, I don't know if there are any jobs in Malawi for that. And yeah, out of that fear, I decided to pursue economics. And the one reprieve I have, the one thing that makes me happy is that on my niece has decided to pursue mechanical engineering. So that's sort of come full circle in a way. And here's the other thing about the small-minded nature of the way I was thinking was, even if you do a degree in engineering, you could still work in finance because it's the understanding of systems that's important rather than the specific discipline of engineering. There's so many careers you could go into with an engineering degree, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm more interested in is the way in which traits are passed on. There's three general ways that they're thought to be passed on, this theory. There's gene, there's meme, and there is theme. So we have gene, that is genetic traits that are passed on from parent to offspring. And then you have meme, which is the way of thinking. You can see in the name meme. Like, what do you think of a meme? It's some item or some idea that is passed on and becomes viral typically, and the populace tends to know what a meme is, right? So that is an idea that can be passed on from an influential figure to another person without a genetic link. And then we have theme, which is the circumstances, the era in which people live. So if you grew up in, say, Cold War Russia, you're likely to pick up a lot of communist ideas, right? Because of the theme of the time. You are a product of your time when it comes to theme. So that's what it is, gene, meme, theme. And I wonder which traits I picked up genetically, which ones were mimetic, so just ideas from being around, like say I'm around my dad a lot, so maybe I pick up the idea of being an economist because so many economic principles are being talked about in front of me. And which portion is genetic? What did I get from him from the gene side? Because he never expressed that he wanted to be a musician until I was married, of course. And he actively tried to stop me from being a musician. I wonder if the rebelliousness is what made me pursue it even harder. I don't know. And how much of it was theme, given the environment we grew up in, the developing countries that my father grew up in and that I grew up in, how much of it is down to theme as well. It's all very interesting to me. Let me know what your thoughts are.